welcome to a brand new edition of our daily news program. Coming up next. The Capjinet 2 seawater desalination plant is officially inaugurated by the President of the Republic, a mega project that will supply 3 million inhabitants in Boumerdaz and the neighboring regions with drinking water. President Tebboune expresses his pride and appreciation for the strategic achievement accomplished entirely by Algerian expertise and reaffirms Algeria's commitment to pursuing development projects. And later, a documentary revealing France's covert use of chemical and biological weapons in Algeria, exposing long suppressed violations against the Algerian people. Welcome back, everyone. As we mentioned in the headlines, the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, visited today the province of Boumerdaz, where he officially inaugurated the Capjinet 2 seawater desalination plant and launched its operations. A strategic project that marks another significant step toward achieving water security in line with the President's commitment. And upon his arrival, President Tebboune was accompanied by the Minister Delegate to the Minister of National Defense, Chief of Staff of the PNA, Army General Said Shingriha. He was welcomed by the Commander of the 1st Military Region, the Governor of the province of Boumerdaz, and the Minister of Interior. And after listening to the national anthem and hailing the national emblem, the President reviewed a formation of different units belonging to the National People's Army, which paid him the honors. The President of the Republic then greeted the military and civil authorities present. The President of the Republic supervised the inauguration of another mega water security project. This time it is the seawater desalination plant Capjinet 2 in Boumerdaz province. The head of state reiterated on this occasion his gratitude to all the personnel who took part in achieving this asset. Letisa Sadqawi with more.
The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, had arrived to the seawater desalination plant, Capjinet 2, accompanied by the Minister Delegate to the Minister of National Defense, Chief of Staff of the PNA, Army General Said Shingriha. He was received by the Minister of State, Minister of Energy, Mines and Renewable Energies, Mohamed Arqab, the Minister of Irrigation, Taha Derbal, and the CEO of Sonatrach, Rachid Hashishi, in addition to the officials supervising the achievement of this mega project, the fourth of its kind in the framework of the National Program for Water Security. The President President of the Republic followed two technical presentations by the head of Sonatrach, which included different phases of the achievement of this project, as well as the challenges and difficulties that face the Algerian competences in achieving it. The project occupies an area of 18 hectares with a production capacity of 300 million liters a day, supplying 3 million inhabitants from the provinces of Boumerdès, Bouira, and Algiers on the daily. Following these presentations, the head of state expressed pride in this major water infrastructure made by Algerian competences in record time. Abdelmajid Tebboune reaffirmed that this accomplishment is a duty and concretization of dreams that our great martyrs sacrificed for during the Great Revolution War, commended in the same statement the Algerian talents behind this achievement.
اليوم لا يسعنا إلا أن نفتخر ونتباهى بما فعله سواعد بناتنا وأبنائنا في هذا البلد.
The head of state expressed pride and appreciation for the strategic infrastructure that was delivered in record time by Algerian competences.
في ظرف وجيز 26 شهر بما فيها التهيئة الخارجية نتاع المشروع، وشاكرهم وقد ما نشكرهم قد ما ربما ما نأديش بالشكر الكافي، لأن الكلمات والشعور ما يكفوش لإبراز كل ما قام به بناتنا وأبنائنا وإطارات جزائرية.
The president added that Algeria is determined to continue the comprehensive development process by achieving other projects, hailing in this record the personnel and staff of energy and irrigation taking part in these purely Algerian-made projects.
الوصول إلى ركب الدول الناشئة الدول المتقدمة، ورانا في الطريق الصحيح، فشاكر لكل وزارتين بما فيها وزارة الري ووزارة الطاقة. وأعتقد أن انطلاقا من هذه المشاريع راهم هما أسسوا مش احنا، أسسوا لمدرسة جزائرية في إنجاز المشاريع.
President Tebboune congratulated citizens for this vital achievement, promising other projects for Boumerdès province.
في وقت فات كانت تعاني من نوع من التأخر، ستكون مشاريع أخرى لبومرداس بحول الله إن شاء الله. فخورين 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 بأبنائنا وبناتنا وإطاراتنا.
Later on, the President of the Republic supervised the inauguration of the strategic and vital project.
Mr. President of the Republic, the Supreme Command of Armed Forces, Minister of National Defense, it's an honor and a privilege to welcome you in the proud of the center, the city, the land of knowledge and creativity. Welcome to Boumerdès. Thank you so much.
صوت أو استمازيغ.
استمازيغ مرحبا يسبن البومرداس.
Abdelmajid Tebboune then gave the kickoff signal for this plant that comes in the framework of Algeria's major national water strategy, which was closely followed by the head of state, who stressed the record time of 26 months in which this project was delivered by Algerian competences. And so, the president officially inaugurated this vital gain that places Algeria among leading countries in water desalination, thanks to a global perspective that aims to achieve water independence and sovereignty in addition to sustainable water security. The head of state commended the high performance by the Algerian talents, reaffirming his pride and recognition for the milestone Algeria reached in water desalination.
ما تقدرش تتكلم على تحلية المياه بدون ما تتكلم على الطاقة. يعني هذه كما قلت très difficile d'exprimer ce qu'on ressent réellement. Bon, la fierté à un niveau jamais égalé. Voilà. Le savoir-faire des Algériens actuellement, pour arriver à ce niveau, il y a un savoir-faire, il y a un patriotisme à toute épreuve. Travailler 3 fois en équipe sur 3 fois 8, c'est pas facile à faire. في ظروف في الشتاء وفي ظروف صعبة وفي كذا. رغم إنشأت مدرسة تقنية وطنية عصرية اللي بغى يتبع. هذه هي الطريق اللي اختارته الجزائر. وإن شاء الله يتبعوها مشاريع أخرى وقطاعات أخرى إن شاء الله كذلك.
In the control room, the President received comprehensive explanations on the phases of water desalination up until distribution. For the President of the Republic to then supervise the commissioning of the plant by giving the kickoff signal of the pumping of desalinated water. The head of state then hailed the personnel and executives taking part in this vital gain. In another stopover, the President visited the training hall for vocational training students specializing in seawater desalination, affirming confidence that the school will become a model for upcoming promotions in this specialty. Abdelmajid Tebboune reiterated once again his pride in all those who took part in this vital project.
أتمنى تكونوا قدوة للولايات الأخرى إن شاء الله. هكا باش تكون إدماج حقيقي بين وزارة الطاقة ووزارة الري ووزارة التكوين المهني. الحمد لله. إن شاء الله مستقبل زاهر لكم.
The President was briefed on the work in progress of the laboratory for analysis on the quality of desalinated water, adding that the country is taking firm steps to achieve a water desalination program after 5 plants by achieving 6 other stations, in addition to other stations east to west and in the middle of the country.
فيما يخص برنامج الجزائر لتحلية المياه، لأن البرنامج هذا فيه 5 مؤسسات ضخمة، محطات ضخمة، وستليها 6 محطات أخرى، وستليها محطات أصغر بالنسبة للشرق الغرب الوسط إن شاء الله، حتى نكونوا فينا بالشيء اللي تعاهدنا مع المواطن، ما نخلوش في العطش إن شاء الله. أنا نعرف ومتيقن باللي راهن أهل من هذا العمل هذا، ونعرف باللي العمل المتقن ما يجي إلا منهم إن شاء الله. وهذاك علاش نشجع دائما المسؤولية النسوية، لأن أنا مطمئن على العمل اللي تقوموا به. الله يبارك فيك والله يوفقك.
President Tebboune then had an exchange with the personnel and executives of the plant, who he praised for their efforts and all those who helped achieve the 4 water desalination plants.
جزائريين، إطارات جزائرية، الرقابة الجزائرية، ويمشيوا مع بعض. في واحد تأخر، واحد تقدم، واحد كذا. أنا شفنا اللوحة هذيك تاع حجر الأساس راه من طعامين.
الحمد لله يا الله.
زمان كنا
هذه بالتوجيهات تاعك يا سيدي الرئيس.
لا، وبالإرادة نتاعكم.
بارك الله فيك.
لأن فيه ناس
لا التوجيهات تاعك دائما هي اللي تقودنا إن شاء الله.
كان اللي راكدين في الخط.
بارك الله فيك سيدي الرئيس.
The President then took a souvenir photo with the personnel and executives of the project. For their part, the staff of the seawater desalination plant praised the efforts of the President in terms of water security, reiterating their gratitude for the opportunity given to them, be it in training or in concretization.
بين الكفاءة الجزائرية باللي راهي موجودة وستظل موجودة إلى المستقبل.
Following the inauguration of the Cabginet 2 seawater desalination plant, the President of the Republic was seen off by the commander of the 1st Military Region. After listening to the national anthem and hailing the national emblem, the President of the Republic reviewed a formation of different units belonging to the National People's Army, which paid him the honors. The President of the Republic then shook hands with the military and civil authorities, as well as the Interior Minister and the Governor of Boumerdaz province. In a new development, the National Independent Authority for Elections announced today the provisional results of the partial renewal of the Council of the Nation with a 96.3% voter turnout. And the results read as follows. First, the National Liberation Front with 19 seats, National Democratic Rally with 14 seats, Al-Mustaqbal or Future Front with 10 seats, the Independent Candidates with 6 seats, and Al-Bina Movement with 3 seats, and the Movement of Society for Peace with 3 seats, and the Socialist Forces Front with 2 seats, Tajamma Al-Amal Al-Jazair with 1 seat. And for its part, the Constitutional Court has begun reviewing the court report for the partial renewal of the Council of the Nation, as announced by the National Independent Authority for Elections. Earlier, the court outlined the procedures for submitting appeals following last Thursday's elections. And coming up in our news. Moroccans face worsening living conditions amid water shortages, power cuts, and resource exploitation. Welcome again, and now to a documentary on RTS channel, which exposes France's secret use of chemical and biological weapons in Algeria, a blatant violation of international law. It reveals toxic bombings and brutal repression against Algerians, atrocities long buried but still leaving visible scars until today. Report by Salim Mirah.
La politique générale d'emploi des armes chimiques en Algérie. Infection des grottes. L'infection par grenade est possible. Les résultats des essais en cours et bientôt terminés permettront de définir.
The pages of history continue to unveil chilling truths long buried by colonial France. The documentary Algiers Special Weapons Section, directed by Claire Billet and produced by Luc Martin-Gousset, aired on Swiss radio and television, unveils a dark and shameful chapter. France's use of chemical weapons banned under the 1925 Geneva Protocol during its war against Algeria. Through powerful images and testimonies, this documentary serves as an act of remembrance, shedding light on the full scale of atrocities committed against the Algerian people during the War of National Liberation. It reveals how colonial France trained pilots and officers in brutal repression tactics, employing everything from bombs to biological weapons and toxic gases. The objective was clear: to crush all forms of resistance through extreme and systematic violence.
On s'est retrouvé avec des brûlures partout où on transpirait.
For the first time with these gases, we discovered several burns. I never knew the components of such technique. I never slept without remembering Algeria's war.
Je me suis pas endormi une fois en 60 ans sans passer la guerre d'Algérie.
Chose que j'ai honte encore même. Il nous arrivait de faire des fouilles.
Shame on me. We had recourse some time to search for everything during our operations.
Opération, vous voyez. Hein. Adieu, salle, boyau, galerie. La paroi verticale est là, 3 mètres de l'entrée.
La paroi verticale est là.
A newly released documentary uncovers the horrifying extent of France's use of highly toxic substances in Algeria, including their role manufacturing cluster bombs and deadly gases banned under international conventions capable of shattering rocks and mountains. I still remember the smell of gas. It is still in my memory.
Ce mélange-là, on est sûr que ça marche.
The effects are immediate for those who do not protect themselves. They will cry, they will vomit, they will have to leave, otherwise they will die.
Ou s'il veut persister à rester, ben il en meurt.
Colonial France turned Algeria into a vast testing ground for its nuclear and chemical experiments. Over 440 mountainous areas were bombarded with toxic gas, leaving behind devastating consequences.
Dans la guerre d'Algérie, il y a même eu,
During Algeria's war, there were heinous crimes, including torture, summary executions, and the use of technical substances. France has to assume responsibility.
Probablement d'autres choses, et il faudra qu'un jour la France les assume.
For years, France employed brutal and inhumane tactics to suppress resistance, resulting to extreme violence and methods of unprecedented cruelty. Even today, the scars of these crimes remain a haunting reminder of both the horrors inflicted by the aggressor and the unshakable resilience of the Algerian people.
جزائري يا رمز العروبة ملاويتي من أزرار نصرك ربي وعدت دولة وسبحتي قلعة للأحرار.
In a different context, Moroccans continue to endure water shortages and power cuts, while corrupt elites profit from illicit revenues. The Makhzen regime deepens its ties with the Zionist entity, granting two Zionist companies gas exploration rights in the occupied waters of Western Sahara, defying international law and EU regulations. And despite ongoing resource plundering, the Moroccan citizens see no improvement in their precarious living conditions, facing poverty and marginalization. And with that, our today's news edition comes to a close. Thank you for tuning in.